condition called schizophrenia. And you may look like, just like the movie, Beautiful Mind, just like the line, you may look like you're getting better from time to time, but your brain is degenerating. You, in all likelihood, will spend the rest of your life under the care of the state mental hospitals. And at that, the magistrate bangs hammer down and says, I hereby declare you to be an insane person under the laws of the state and remand you to the state hospital system indefinitely. Now, that was not a real good day for me. Had other plans. And fortunately for me, they figured out, oh, Marengo must be a veteran. We can save some money, Mr. Commissioner, if we send these veterans to the VA. So I got to go to a VA for a couple of months. They made the mistake of letting me out. Now I want to say something, because I'm asked this all the time. How are you doing, Fred? Are you okay? Are you okay? I want to say this. For you chronically normal people, it is true that that court has never issued a certificate saying I've been restored to sanity. But I'm sure that must be an oversight on somebody's part. All right. I got a job. I've kept it one way or another. State Community Mental Health Center for the last 40 years. These old state hospitals, here they are. Yeah, it's like the bed I was strapped down to in Milwaukee. That's like 80 beds to a unit up there in Northfield before they changed it. Here's some typical satisfied customers. You can't see them real well. Here we are. We've seen this 100 times. 1950, there were over 500,000 of us in the hospitals. Population in this country then was 150 million. We now got over 300 million, so that 500,000 should be 1 million. And it's only 50,000. 95% of us are out. Yeah, and where are we? Yeah, 150,000 homeless. I spent homeless just a little while. Trust me. Don't do it. Criminalization. When I started this campaign 20 years ago, I'd take NAMI's figures. We'd lament 25,000 seriously mentally ill people in the jails and prisons. 25,000. Today that figure is 350,000. Now, I don't know if I trust those figures, but still. Deinstitutionalization. They gave us our freedom. Yeah, freedom. I don't know about you, but I don't consider being locked up in the jails and the prisons freedom. Deinstitutionalization. Right. All right. Now, why is this the death of psychiatric rehab? Because of these guys. Not the guys in the jails and prisons, not the homeless. Some of us started getting better. Here we are beginning to organize, calling ourselves the Psychiatric Inmates Liberation Movement. Yes. Putting out our publications. Here's the Madness Network News. All the fits that's news to print. Yeah. Take off on the Times there. Now, here we are taking over the governor's office, California, and no more of this electroshock therapy, particularly unwanted. Don't want those lightning bolts going through our brain, wiping out our memories. Now, we quickly realize that if we're going to have an organization, what do you got to have? You got to have a T-shirt, right? No, we got ourselves a T-shirt. Duty Chief. Shrink resistant. We don't need those shrink. On our own. 1978, the Bible of the movement. She and Ray Unsinger mentioned earlier with her. Unfortunately, Judy, you may have heard, is in a hospice now, getting to leave us. Now, what have we done? We got ourselves in the ADA in 1990, for one thing, saying yes, psychiatric disabilities are disabilities. But an interesting thing happened in the last year. Finally, the psychiatrists began to take note of us. And I've been on the board editor's psychiatric bulletin for about 12 years. I get a call and said, Fred, there's this thing called this recovery stuff. How about if you write us an article? Now, let's just sample some educated consumers. We understand there's some educated ones out there. Educated, and give us their opinion on this recovery stuff. How to measure it. We're scientific. So I think, well, thank you for the invitation. Now, you're schizophrenia bulletin, right? Well, I can't have all consumers. That's too many. I'll just have the schizophrenics. Oh, excuse me, persons with. And I'll want educated, so I'll just, I just take the doctorates. I'm going to find 10 psychiatrists and psychologists with schizophrenia, and I'm going to sample their opinions of this recovery, and we're going to do an article. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So how am I going to out these 10 psychiatrists and psychologists? Well, it turned out, of course, this is the Schizophrenia Bulletin. Just came out here in March. And our article was entitled, well, let's see, here's Ed Knight. He's the first one to agree to co-author it with me. Dr. Knight, schizophrenic, leader in New York for many years now, vice president of Value Options. And Ed and I put this article together. I'll show it to you in a minute. We sent it into the editor, and they sent it for review to Ellen Sachs. Ellen Sachs, you may know, is an associate dean of USC Law School, Yale Law School, and she just revealed she has schizophrenia. You know, she gets the thing and says, I refuse to review this article because I want to be a co-author. And so I'm going, whoa, we got the world famous Ellen Sachs going to co-author this thing with. Here's Ellen. She's giving talks all over the place. She's in Newsweek. Her book, if you haven't seen it, it's called The Center Cannot Hold. Oliver Sacks himself says, the most lucid and hopeful memoir of living with schizophrenia I have ever read. Everybody who's read this says it's the same thing. He's a beautiful writer. 5 times hospitalized with schizophrenia, once for 5 months, while she's at Yale Law School, still graduating near the top of her class. Valedictorian out of Vanderbilt. Great lady. 3 of us, we write this article, and we focus on the collected writings of others. But by the way, let me tell you what Ellen's doing. That book got reviewed all over the place, included by NAMI. They all say, fantastic book. This guy, Professor Jones, law professor at Louisville, he reviewed it too, said fantastic book, fantastic book. 3 months later, he then writes another article saying, you know, when I reviewed that book, I told the truth. It is a fantastic book, but I didn't tell the whole truth. The whole truth is that I, too, fool Professor Jones, also am a person frequently hospitalized with psychotic breaks. He's got a big scar right here. I cannot tell you how many conferences I go to of judges. 150 judges, 2-hour talk. Afterward, one's going to come up to me. I remember one in Columbus, tears in his eyes. I'm telling you something I've never told anybody but my psychiatrist, my wife, Dr. Frese. I've got the same condition you do, and I can't tell anybody. I can't tell anybody. Sometimes I can't even make it to the bench. But I've held on to that job for 25 years. I judge this. So Ellen and Ed and I, we produced this article, Recovery from Schizophrenia, with views of psychiatrists, psychologists, and others diagnosed with the disorder on recovery. So what do we say? What did our 10 little Indians have to say about your recovery movement? Well, who are they?